The forces define the quality of diamond. Let's see how this fifth seal is going to change the dynamics of diamond. Zoom in tomorrow at 11 via 379 561 8810. Be there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this interesting session on the changing dynamics of the diamonds post COVID-19. We have an esteemed panel with us. We have Mr. Jignesh Mehta, Managing Director of Divine Solitaire, Ms. Richa Singh, Managing Director of DPA India, Shuro Chandraji, Joint Managing Director, PC Chandra, Mr. Pratap Kamath, Managing Director, Aberan, Ms. Sati Nair, Managing Director, Rappaport India, Mr. Chetan Mehta, Chairman and Managing Director, Lakshmi Diamonds, Mr. Manoj Kumar Jha, Managing Director, Kamakhya Jewels Limited, and of course, the most dynamic Mr. Sumesh Vadera, the moderator of this session, Managing Director, Editor-in-Chief of Art of Jewelry, and I'm the host today, Kranti Nagvekar from KNC Services. So I would give it over to you, Sumeshji, to start this interesting session.
Right. Thank you, Kranti, for your wonderful introduction. Can we have Mr. Pratap Kamath on unmute? He's still a little bit trying to struggle with his setup. And can we have the whole screen here on the screen, all the speakers?
Yes.
Yeah, all the speakers. Yes, great. Good morning. So what I was saying is we have a very interesting panel of speakers, right from the Diamond Promotion Association, represented by Richa Singh, and then we have Mr. Jignesh Mehta, one of the leading diamond brand, solitaire brand entrepreneur, running this brand very successfully. And of course, we have a representative from Rappaport India, the Rappaport price sheet provider, and two leading retailers, Mr. Pratap Kamath from Aberan, Bangalore, and Shuro Chandra from Calcutta, PC Chandra Jewelers, and two young jewelry diamond manufacturers, by Manoj Kamath from Kamakhya Jewels and Mr. Chetan Mehta from Lakshmi. And I think so it's a good mix. To start with, see, the COVID-19 has really swept the world. There's going to be challenges. The world is moving from globalization to isolation. And what I feel is the diamond is the most globalized commodity, the most globalized product. It's mined there somewhere in South Africa or say Russia, brought to India, polished, cut, made into a beautiful jewelry, beautiful ring, back to New York, goes back to Europe, even in small cities in India, say Bhubaneswar, or sitting somewhere in Mangalore or Trivandrum. So it's such a global product. And with this kind of a scenario, what we are facing, it is going to have an impact. I'll start with you, Jignesh Bhai. You kind of you represent 160 retailers. You have them as your retail partners. What is your assessment in this current scenario and post-COVID? How do you see the demand for diamond shaping up in the future?
Sure. So first of all, happy morning, everybody, to the panelists and to the so many participants who have already joined in. And most importantly, I would like to congratulate Sumeshwar, you and Krantiji, for bringing this such an interesting opportunity to bring all the stakeholders of the industry together and holding such seminars. It's really I think it's one of the best things we could do in this pandemic situation. So, just coming to your question, Sumesh, about, how do we feel about this situation and what the industry and especially the diamond industry is all about. I think one of the things I would like to mention is that, we have been all thinking about different ways. So one is the left thought process and the right thought process. Somebody will say that, it's still going to be quiet and difficult for some time, and some others have a view that suddenly things will bounce back, and all those revenge shopping and bringing the customers from the tourism and travel to our industry and all that sort of things. What I think is more important from all of these things is I think this pandemic situation probably has provided us with an unprecedented opportunity of going back to school, which is, I think, something we are all not talking about. But you know what, these webinars and all these sessions are actually helping us to really think about that. I mean, for years and years, while we keep working, we are gathering knowledge. somebody is good, somebody is bad, this is nice, that is good, but we are not been learning. I think this is time for learning. So I think anybody who is really introspecting, who is coming up with new ideas, new thoughts, and knowing what is going to work, because honestly, none of these crisis situations last too long. So my understanding is that this is only a temporary dent into the industry. As a matter of fact, our industry is much more luckier than so many other industries, like cinemas and travel, where the dent is much, much deeper. I mean, it will take a much longer time to recover, but we probably might not take such a long time. So I pretty much think that, post-pandemic, this industry will revive much quicker and faster compared to so many other areas. But the only thing that we need to understand is it's not a time to just keep doing things what we have been doing in the past. I think we need to change, and that change can only happen if we really have used this time, these 40 days, in completely revamping ourselves, our organizations, the ways we are working, ideas, everything. I think customers across, especially for diamond, they all aspire diamonds. Nobody wants to give away diamond or give up the aspiration of diamond. But I think customer needs solutions. Customer needs the solutions from the industry to make them comfortable from their apprehensions that they have. I think this is what we need to provide to the industry, to the customers. I think honesty, integrity, transparency, even, the customers want to know where the diamonds are traveled. So from the point where it was mined till the point where it was given, what are the communities it has touched upon. I think these are amazingly important things. And this is the time, these 40 days has been the time when we can rethink of our strategies, touch the customers, and believe me, Sumeshji, people who have really thought about the consumers, especially during these times, are the ones that are going to come back very quickly and really make a big, big impact. All right. Very positive impact.
Good. So on this positive and optimistic note, we move to the next panelist. We have Richa Singh, the DPM Managing Director. Richa, this question for you.
Yep.
You see, first of all, your assessment, you are a kind of also a global body. You must be talking to your counterparts across the globe, what's happening in US, Europe, China, and of course, you'll be having your own assessment of India. If you could share that. And secondly, BPA's new initiatives, anything you would like to share? Because BPA has in the recent past come up with very interesting and memorable campaigns, right? Like Real is Rare, and then you have your New Mom Gift. Very beautiful two campaigns I've seen. But anyways, so please share your thoughts on these 2 points, on the current situation, your assessment, and new initiatives.
Sure. First, thank you, Sumeshji. Thank you, Kranti, for having me on this interesting panel. And I'll pick from what Jigneshji said. I think this lockdown has given us an opportunity to get closer together. I know everybody's saying isolated, but I keep saying the number of panels I go to and the number of discussions I have, I probably see more of you more often, even if it's on the computer. So I'm looking at the positive side. And honestly, I concur with what Jignesh said, and I think that what we need to look at is that it's a challenging time, it's an interesting time, but it's also an opportunity for us, to look back, to sit back, and to think over things that we are doing or we could do. I don't think most of us have the time or the energy to actually sit back and process our thoughts and possibilities. And this is the time for evaluating possibilities. I think for us as a body, our number one message to our team, within our team, outside our team, is that we need to spread the word of the positivity. Of course, it's a tough time. Of course, it is not finished. It's still got a few months to go. I have no crystal ball. I can't tell you whether it's ending in June, July, August. I don't know. But I think we are all optimistic from what we know today, or what we've seen of China or heard of China from a lot of people, that Diwali should be the time where things start to stabilize or start to pick up. It also gives us an opportunity to set our houses in order till Diwali comes. But, this is the opportunity for us to upskill, for us to train ourselves, train our teams. This is the time when where we are not worried about, what's happening on a day-to-day basis. So why not look at upgrading ourselves, learning from the other industries, and keeping that spirit. Sumitri, this is the one initiative as of today we launched. We've partnered with a lot of retailers who knew of us, were ready to share the natural diamond dream, and partnered with us. But we thought this is the opportunity for us as DPA to say whatever we have, we create for the industry to go the industry. That why don't we share it with everyone? We've created a portal which launches today. Over the last month and a half, the team has worked hard to create this portal. All of our content is online. You just have to log on. It's free to download for everybody to use. It's got a part of educational material, our campaigns. It's got digital content for your sales staff, content for you to share with your consumers. All of it we've uploaded, saying what we have is for you all. That's our latest initiative, so to speak. And we will send out messages to all of our mailing lists and with you as well, to tell you how to log on and make use of it, whatever suits you in whichever form it suits you. The other part we are doing very seriously, which we believe works, is that this is the time that the consumer has on her hands. She's absorbing a lot more content. She's spending a lot more time in front of the television, in front of a computer, on her phone, absorbing a lot more. She's asking a lot more questions on Google search. So we are keeping, as a team, tracking Google search data every day to see what is happening, what is she checking out, what is she interested in. Because just like us saying that we have time to upskill, she's also thinking and saying, what can I do? And I have a lot more time. So this is the time we are seeding in a lot more content. We are trying to create a lot more opportunities to build on the desirability of the product. So whether it's, being a part of articles that talk about it, we are also a product that doesn't go out of fashion, that doesn't, fine jewelry is something that is forever. So whether you love this design or you want to repurpose your mother's design, it fits into, being there for hundreds of years, lasting for an eternity. Why don't we leverage those stories? So we are doing a lot more PR seeding in. We've reached out to a lot more partners to ask for their images to start, seeding it in, and where we can seed it. It's also, you must remember, this is the time that has to explore designs, or this is the time for discovery. So she is going onto a lot more websites to just see what interests her. So if she went on to one brand and checked one brand out, today she goes from one to the other and checks out at least 5 brands. So we are trying to track her digital journey and see where is it that we can fit. What is it that we can do? If today is World Earth Day, what is it that we can share about our industry that is relevant to her today, that she can absorb? So 2-point agenda for us as DPA, help the industry, help ourselves upskill, whatever we can share with you, provide to you. We have the data, we have the information, we have the partners and the, the brains here. How do we put together everything to make sure that we upskill ourselves, learn from it and grow? And the second, that we, evolve the consumer experience. She is exploring now. How she comes, yes, there will be a challenge when she reaches the store, she actually starts to pick. But this experience and the discovery and the desirability which we can grow, we grow now.
Right, Rishaji. So you mentioned that you have a website where your trade partners, retailers can download. So is it open to all the retailers, or you have some criteria?
We've actually, it's launched today, so we'll be happy to have all of your feedback. We spoke yesterday.
Can you share that website name? What website is this?
Sure. I'll just ask my team to put it up on the chat as well. But the whole idea is that we are putting all the assets we have developed. We are also sharing what we do. So for instance, if we get a PR opportunity with Vogue and we write an article, we just did in, 3 weeks ago, we reach out to retailers and say, please send us your, images. We share with editor. We do a lot of editorial plugin with a credit to the brand. So we are also put examples there saying, इस तरह का काम करते हैं, आपको कोई interest है, आपको लगता है आपका brand fit होता है, तो please share कीजिए. We don't have any collection. हमारे पास कोई अपनी ज्वेलरी नहीं है, अपने कोई डायमंड नहीं है जो हमने शेयर करने हैं. जिसका हमें पता है, we try to do regional inputs, especially when we are giving an image. When it's a shoot, by default जहाँ पे shoot हो रही होती है हम वहाँ से उठाते हैं तो दिल्ली बॉम्बे ज़्यादा cover होता है. बट जब हम इमेज मांग रहे होते हैं, या हमने अभी टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया के साथ आर्टिकल किया है, 5 इमेजेस जो है 5 डिफरेंट रिटेल चेन से लिए हैं उनके डालने के लिए, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली कंज्यूमर पूछता है मैं कहाँ जाऊँ, ये लेने के लिए कहाँ जाऊँ. मूवीज के साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं, स्क्रिप्टिंग अब चालू है इन अ बिग वे इन बॉलीवुड. हमने बहुत सारे प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस के साथ बात की है इस महीने में. अगेन टाइम है, एनर्जी है, दे हैव द टाइम टू डिस्कस लॉन्गर विद अस टू एक्सप्लेन कि हम किस तरह की चीजें हैं. क्या इट्स नॉट जस्ट डिजाइन, 4-6 चीजें हैं जो एस्टैब्लिश की हैं कि डिजाइन कैसे करें, क्रेडिबिलिटी कैसे दिखा ले. heirloom story, the fact that fine jewelry, gold and diamonds last you for hundreds of years, is a long thing, pass on generations. This is a hope that we are celebrating. Occasions like birth of a child, any celebration is made more precious when there is a piece of jewelry with you that is given. It creates a memory. मुझे अभी भी याद है कि मुझे मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मेरे को पहले इयररिंग्स कौन से दिए थे. They were small gold studs, but मुझे अभी भी याद है मैंने सबसे पहली डायमंड बैंगल कब खरीदी थी या क्यों खरीदी थी. There's always a memory attached. We want to establish that. तो हम कैसे आप लोगों के साथ कोलैबोरेट कर सकते हैं, आपकी ज्वेलरी शोकेस कर सकते हैं. We've put all of it on the website. So हमारी एक कंज्यूमर फेसिंग वेबसाइट है, बट ये सिर्फ रिटेल के लिए है, to see what all opportunities you have with us और हम आपको क्या दे सकते हैं प्योर कंटेंट में. You have to log on and say your company name, and of course my team, if you have any questions you can write into our team. But the idea is to share more and more, exactly like your spirit of your webinar. When Kranti says or you say that it's a webinar to share our thoughts, we thought this was an opportunity for us to share all the content we have, knowledge we have, that we can develop and share with you.
Wonderful. And I think we in India has been lacking with this generic campaign on diamonds. 10-12 years back, DBS has done a wonderful job. We had a Nakshatra campaign, and who can forget this Diamond is Forever line. So those I'm very happy that DPA is bringing back some content to connect with the consumers and helping the retailers to educate them. I think ultimately it will help the industry. Thanks, Richa, for your insights. We'll move on to Survo Chandraji is there from Calcutta. PC Chandra Jewelers, one of the, I have to unmute you, sir. You're on mute. Can you please unmute? Survoji,
I think you have muted yourself.
He has to unmute.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I think now it's better.
Yeah.
So PC Chandra is one of 100-year-old plus jewelry retail family brand. Now is a presence across India. So my question to you is that, let us say we talk about two eras, before Corona and after Corona. So let us say before Corona, we had seen in Jan, Feb some green shoots. The jewelry demand, the diamond demand was just picking up. It was just there, and we were hopeful of a good season coming, wedding season, Akshaya Tritiya. And unfortunately, that has not happened. That's true. Now post COVID-19, what's your view, Survoji? Because let us face it, not every customer will have diamond as the first priority in their mind in this kind of uncertain and challenging times. And at the same time, diamonds are timeless. It has emotions. It is so much of aspiration value. So it will come back. So what I understand from trade is two views. Some people are pessimistic. They're saying, oh, 1 year is gone. And then there are other things, giving examples of China, that there'll be a bounce back. You as from an Indian retailer, what's your perspective on this?
Thank you, Shumeshji and Krantiji, for having me. Right. And, as you have rightly pointed out that, yes, we are a very old jeweler and been in the business for a pretty long time. Right. So probably the family has seen lots of ups and downs. So for the industry. So I believe this is not the first time, even for me also, it is not the first time I am seeing lack of demand, right? We have seen off late, we have seen demands and supply and everything crashing down for quite a bit of time, In fact, if you recall, the industry also closed down for almost more than 45 days or 50 days at the time of excise, right?
Right.
I believe everybody remembers that. We have also seen a lot of ups and downs so far when the new tax regime came down, right? When GST was introduced. So I think the industry has been going through various phases, various ups and downs for a pretty long time. And goes without saying, this is one of COVID-19 has been the mother of all probably. I don't remember. In fact, I was talking to my dad, asking him whether he remembers something of this nature in his lifetime, which
Right.
even he says that he doesn't remember anything of this sort.
Right.
So I think, we are facing a troubled time, goes without saying, and we have nothing to do. In fact, things are out of our control. We had been sitting back to our homes. Probably, good things are being said, that yes, you are giving, I've been getting some messages saying that, okay, look, you are, for the first time, probably you are giving a lot of time to your home. But, at the end of the day, it worries a businessman, a trader like me, saying that, okay, because we have a large uh, workforce to look after. And, at the end of the day, we are trying to put up a brave face, but the worries are there. Worries are there, goes without saying. But you cannot focus on certain things which is not within your control. I can be a little bit more philosophical, saying that, okay, worry is not going to help you, right? Uh, Past is a good learner for you. Future, you do not have a control. So live, look at the present time, and try to see that what best you can do within this period of time. And as a matter of fact, there has been some green lines while we are doing. I think we have not done so many conferences on web. So it's something which we are learning to work in a different way. I think this is also a silver lining which I am seeing, because you see, I come from a generation which was not that friendly with technology. So we are grasping at a much higher speed, knowing technology and trying to understand how to adapt that into our systems. I think this is a teaching for me to look into that, right? So as an organization, we are, in fact, as we are trying to get connected with each and everybody, thinking that what needs to be done next in case there are a lot of issues which needs to be addressed. We are planning so far how the business will go down. We are planning what will be our marketing strategies. We are planning how to keep our workforce motivated. And I think, all these things are going to be, we are exploring and we are doing of our own. And goes without saying, digital medium is going to be a very important way of marketing tool, as well as we will be seeing a lot of new innovations coming down within very short time. I think all of us are, all jewelers are looking into those areas. But I think, it's a learning time for all of us. We need to understand that our hands are, we are in a market is not going to come back instantly. Diamond has some, value. That's the natural thing, which is, I feel, which is going to give us a lot of strength, to say that, okay, and only I wish we can maintain the belief system. So far diamonds is concerned, right? We jewelers needs to understand that we have to follow certain, as a matter of fact, we need to follow the old structures which we have already laid back in our stores, saying that, okay, we are not going to shy off from purchases in case there will be a need to, people may come down to you. And if we do not, we should not break the belief system which we have developed for such a long period of time. I think this is what I need to say.
I think, yeah, it's wonderful, Subhraji. You have been quite cautious. You have emphasized on your value systems. You have emphasized on preparation, on education. I think, thank you for your insights. Pratap, as a diamond retailer, jewelry retailer is very key. I hope you are on unmute. Pratap, can you hear us? Hello.
Yeah, Sumesh,
Perfect. So what I was coming to is that a jewelry retailer is the most critical component in the entire supply chain, because if the retailer does well, the whole supply chain pipeline, the wholesaler is happy, the manufacturer is happy, the miners are happy. Ultimately, I feel in our industry, is a very key and important player is a retailer. So you, as one of the leading retailers here in Bangalore, and you've been around for last, say, 25 years, developing this luxury business, how do you foresee, especially the diamond business and, of course, the jewelry industry scenario post-COVID?
Well, Sumesh, thank you so much for your kind words of encouragement and appreciation. Thanks for having me here, Sumesh ji and Kranti ji. And very good morning to all friends who are here online. Well, I think this is a very unprecedented situation with which nobody has definitive answers for. But I personally believe that every adversity has an opportunity. So irrespective of what kind of business, size of business we are in, I think there's an opportunity. I just jotted down a few points. One is, I think this is a great opportunity for the neighborhood jeweler. See, with travel restrictions, it's going to be difficult for people to move too far, and also they look more at convenience. So I think the neighborhood jeweler and people having presence across, maybe referring to large retailers who are having presence in different cities, stand to gain from this. Another big opportunity is for the high value diamond jewelry buyers. See, people with a higher disposable income are less likely to be affected, with this situation. And these are the people who have traveled a lot, and continue to travel to source their jewelry from different cities in the country or overseas. But with this travel restriction, I think they will be, if we have the right strategy, we'll be able to get them back to us, and get this bigger sale. Another opportunity is for the people who have a robust online presence. So I think online is going to grow. And for people who haven't invested, this is the right time. I think we have all the time to plan, get all our web designers in place, and have a nice online presence. So I think there's a great opportunity here. But well, with regard to the time, I don't know how long it's going to take. Like I mentioned initially, this is unprecedented and nobody can predict exactly when it's going to open up. But I think if we can use this time to plan and get the right strategy, depending on which part of what kind of customers we cater to, I think there's a great opportunity ahead for us. And also with regard to post-lockdown, I think there are going to be several restrictions and protocols in place for us to, in the workplace. So I think with regard to hygiene and social distancing is going to be very important. And I think a single window billing system will have to be even more important. When I say single window, I refer to the one sales executive who handles the customer, addresses all his requirements, closes the sale, and is also able to bill and collect the payment and deliver the goods in the same place. So you're able to reduce him moving around the store and make him be more comfortable. In fact, we have implemented this for several years. So we have a mobile portable billing device, so the consumer doesn't even have to go to the cash counter to to make his payments. So we've implemented this about 5 years ago. It's done. I think more of us will have to start following this.
Right, Pratap, you mentioned about the travel and holidays. I
Right.
think I agree with you. There is an opportunity because, say, typically in a family, they save 10% of the saving for a family holiday, India, abroad. So that's not going to happen next 1 or 2 years, looks like. So that saving, that money is likely to come to jewelry or other asset class. And with stock market not doing well, and property, as you know, is everything is free. So that way, the jewelry could be a good option for that money which they're saving coming to the industry, right?
See, jewelry, that's definitely a positive point there. Another point I'd like to share is about us drawing parallels to China. See, let us understand one point, that in China, 90% of the businesses there have direct or indirect government control, unlike in India. Okay, and there in China, now that they've started with a 60 or I think 70-day lockdown, post-lockdown, things have picked up for them. It may not happen in India because now with the Disaster Management Act in place, we can't lay off people, and you'll have to continue to pay salaries with basic cuts, whatever permissible. But I think post-lockdown, India is going to see huge layoffs. So I don't know how that situation is going to be addressed. It may sound a little negative, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Though at one point I say, there's a great positivity, people will invest. But I think this is also an issue we need to look into, and
that's where in our last seminar, a lot of buyback will come. The gold, especially in the gold segment, the jewelers will be facing to purchase the old gold, which people having lost jobs and a liquidity crunch. So that is another challenge. Anyway, we'll move on to our next speaker. We have Mr. Manoj Jha with us from Kamakhya. Mr. Manoj Jha, you are here?
Yes, Sumesh ji.
Yes, Manoj bhai.
Yes, Sumesh ji. Tell me.
You are on the GJC board. You run a manufacturing center in Bombay, Seeps, Andheri. So you have, I think, must be having quite a broader perspective of this current situation and the impact on the diamond jewelry industry. Please share us first. I have two questions for you. One, do you see manufacturing?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
No, I cannot hear you. Now I can hear you. Can you repeat once again?
Yeah. I said I have two questions for you.
Okay.
First is as a diamond jewelry manufacturer, do you think what kind of changes you'll have to do? Of course, one is your setup, maybe cutting down costs. Secondly, in terms of the designs, will there be more demand for now lightweight jewelry, or will there be something a customer is looking at? No, I'll go for really high end. I'll spend only once in my life. So, what kind of changes you're looking in your manufacturing setup post lockdown? And secondly, my question is that. I'll come to that second. I like to answer this because that's a very elaborate question regarding the cutting and polishing happening in Surat and job losses. So my first question to you as a manufacturer, what kind of changes you see in your setup?
Okay. I heard half of your question. Just I'm repeating it. That you have asked for the job losses and all about Surat, diamond and cutting polishing factories and all.
I'll come to that second. I've come to the first question. Your insights about the changes in the jewelry manufacturing. Do you see any changes in terms of people going towards lightweight or cutting cost? What is your insights on that?
Yeah, definitely. In the diamond manufacturing is
Manoj, sorry to interrupt.
Manoj,
sorry to interrupt. Can you just switch on your video? I am not able to see you on this thing. Can you start?
Actually, I'm in a low network area.
Okay,
if I start my video, so it will be little bit.
It's okay. We'll hear you. Okay.
Right now, your voice is more important to us.
And I'm just got some messages that speak in Hindi, so I will speak in Hindi now. देखिए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो है ऑल अबाउट रिटेल के ऊपर है. जैसा फीडबैक रिटेल से आता है वैसा ही मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को करना पड़ता है. एंड मेरे को जो दिख रहा है बहुत सारे चेंजेस रिटेल सेक्टर में दिख रहा है, जिसकी जो बहुत बड़ा मार्केटिंग प्रोडक्ट से भी ज्यादा मार्केटिंग के ऊपर है. तो फर्स्ट मैं थोड़ा रिटेल के बारे में बताना चाहूंगा कि रिटेलर्स जो हमारे ज्वेलर्स हैं उनको प्रोडक्ट लाइन तो ऑलरेडी पिछले 2-3 साल में बहुत ज्यादा चेंजेस हो चुका है ट्रेंड के हिसाब से, लाइट वेट ज्वेलरी एंड ऑल. जो वेडिंग कलेक्शन है वो भी फैलावट में लाइट वेट और ये सब ऑलरेडी चल रहा है, और मेरे को लगता है पोस्ट कोविड भी कोई बहुत बड़ा उसमें फर्क नहीं आने वाला है। लेकिन जो मार्केटिंग प्रोस्पेक्ट है, अब जो कस्टमर है आज शहर में है और अगर वहां पे 20 दुकानें हैं तो फर्स्ट ही विल सी कि हु इज द सेफेस्ट ज्वेलर। पहला वो हेल्थ देखेगा। जो दो तरह की सेफ्टी होती है, एक तो आपको प्रॉपर टेक्निकली आपका सब सेफ्टी मेजर्स रखना है, और एक फील गुड फैक्टर, कस्टमर को फील हो कि नहीं मैं सेफ्टी में खड़ा हूँ, तो वो बहुत बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। उसके लिए उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो ज्वेलर्स जो है रिटेलर्स अपनी मार्केटिंग करेंगे, दे विल बी द विनर। जैसे एक दो मैं एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगा कि वीडियो जो लाइव वीडियो पे आप प्रोडक्ट्स दिखाओ, उस पे शॉर्टलिस्ट कराओ, फिर बाद में मे बी होम डिलीवरी कराओ, होम घर पे जाके 2-4 ज्वेलरी दिखाओ, अपॉइंटमेंट बेस पे आपको अपने शोरूम पे बुलाओ, और इस तरह की जो वन काउंटर जो सर्विस है वो कराओ। डिजिटल में आपको बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत बढ़ानी पड़ेगी, और जो सबसे इन सब चीज का ध्यान सेफ्टी को ध्यान रखते हुए करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये ट्रेंड अगला कम से कम 1 साल तक चलेगा। लोग बोल रहे हैं दिवाली दिसंबर तक ठीक हो जाएगा, लेकिन मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि ये चूंकि मेरे नॉलेज के हिसाब से वैक्सीन कम से कम अगला 12 से 15 महीने तक नहीं आ पाएगा, तो उससे पहले नो डाउट आई कैन थिंक कि 1-2 महीने में मेडिसिन आ जाए, क्योर करने की मेडिसिन आ जाए, लेकिन वैक्सीन नहीं आएगी। तो वे ऑफ मार्केटिंग जो है वो बहुत चेंज करना पड़ेगा। एट द सेम टाइम जो प्रोडक्ट है, आपको प्रोडक्ट के बारे में बताना चाहूंगा कि एक बेनिफिट बी टायर और सी टायर सिटीज को होने वाला, जैसे मैसूर है, जैसे जमशेदपुर है, इन लोगों के पास क्या होता था, जो कस्टमर आते थे ज्वेलरी खरीदने को, लेकिन जब वेडिंग की बात आती थी, जब हेवी वेट ज्वेलरी की बात, तो वो जमशेदपुर वाले कलकत्ता चले जाते थे, वो मैसूर वाले बैंगलोर चले जाते थे। तो अब जो ट्रैवल का कंसर्न है, तो वो अगर जो बी टायर और सी टायर सिटीज के जो ज्वेलर हैं अपने कस्टमर को होल्ड कर सके, तो वो जो हाई एंड ज्वेलरी है वो उनको बेच सकेंगे। वो उनको बहुत पहली बार ऐसा मौका मिला है, नहीं तो वर्षों से उनका यही है कि मैं कितना भी दिखा दूं, लेकिन उनको तो मेट्रोज में ही जाके बड़ी ज्वेलरी लेनी है। तो ये एक उनके पास बहुत बड़ा प्लस पॉइंट है।
The same concept what Pratap Kamath was saying regarding neighborhood jeweler, that is going to emerge, right? They will have an advantage. Yes,
definitely. इसके मतलब पॉजिटिव नोट्स इस कोविड के हैं, जैसे मई जून का पूरा ट्रैवल एक्सपेंस बच गया, दिसंबर का एक्सपेंस बच गया, आउट ऑफ इंडिया कोई नहीं अभी जाना चाहेगा, और इक्विटी मार्केट और वर्ल्ड वाइड जो है डाउन है, तो ये जो पैसे बचे हैं और अपना यंग इंडिया है, तो डेफिनेटली जो है ये ज्वेलरी मार्केट में अपना पैसा आने वाला है। इसको इनकैश करने का आपको तरीका आना चाहिए, और वो अगर आप क्योंकि हमारी ज्वेलरी मैक्सिमम वेडिंग्स और फेस्टिवल्स के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, और वो होनी ही है, चाहे ये कोविड के बाद सेलिब्रेट करें या थोड़ा रुक के सेलिब्रेट करें, लेकिन दैट हैज टू बी डन। तो लेकिन ये सब के पीछे जो मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि मैन्युफैक्चरर से रिटेल तक वो सेफ्टी मेजर का जिसने ध्यान रखा, एक दिखावे के लिए भी और एक एक्चुअल में के लिए भी। दिखावा भी बहुत जरूरी है, कस्टमर को फील गुड फैक्टर आना बहुत जरूरी है, वो उसको शोरूम में आया,
वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, we got it,
उसको फील गुड फैक्टर नहीं आएगा ना, आप कितना भी कर लो।
Right. Okay, now my next question is a little bit of on a serious note. You are dealing with your suppliers in Surat, in Bharat Diamond Bows, and across other big factories. What do you see the scenario? Because the rough cutting polishing, which happens in India on a very large scale, in this scenario when there is no exports, there is hardly any domestic consumption, you see there will be job losses in those factories in Surat and Bombay. What's your view?
Somesh bhai, don't take me wrong. Don't take it that I'm a negative person on all these things, but there will हाँ, लेकिन इस जो लूज डायमंड की इंडस्ट्री है वो सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट होने वाली है, हो चुकी है ऑलरेडी।
Why you say that?
मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि जब जनवरी ये स्टार्ट हो गई, जनवरी महीने से ही, जनवरी में ऑलरेडी जब चाइना में कोरोना वायरस की वजह से क्वारंटाइन स्टार्ट हो गए थे, मॉल्स बंद हो गए थे, शोज कैंसिल होने शुरू हो गए थे, तो ऑलरेडी जो 25 to 30% इम्पैक्ट था वो आ चुका था हमारे, और उस अमेरिका और चाइना का ट्रेड एंड पॉलिटिकल टेंशन ऑलरेडी चल रहा था। तो इन सब जगहों की वजह से ऑलरेडी जो है ना वो 25 to 30% जो है वो तकलीफें लूज डायमंड इंडस्ट्री को आ चुकी थी, क्योंकि लूज डायमंड इंडस्ट्री जो है। दूसरा क्या हो गया कि जब ये सब कोविड का प्रॉब्लम आया तो मैक्सिमम पेमेंट्स मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि जो पहले क्वार्टर का है केवल 5 to 10 या मैक्सिमम 15% पेमेंट आए हैं, यानी कि ऑलमोस्ट 75 to 85% पेमेंट एक्सपोर्टर्स के नहीं आए। अब ये पेमेंट्स नहीं आए तो वो अपने रॉ मटेरियल का भी पैसा नहीं दे पाए। तो ये सब चीजों के बहुत बड़ा कैश फ्लो का तकलीफ है। और अमेरिका भी पूरा कोई एक्सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है, अपना 50% मार्केट अमेरिका है। हांगकांग के थ्रू ऑलमोस्ट 35% जो है हमारा एक्सपोर्ट होता है। तो ये जो लूज डायमंड की इंडस्ट्री है बहुत बुरे हालत में है, और मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि जॉब के ऊपर कम से कम 75% का फर्क पड़ेगा, ओनली 25% लोग बच पाएंगे। आज भी मैं आपको बताऊं, जैसे गवर्नमेंट के रूल्स आ रहे हैं कि भाई जो वर्क फोर्स है वो आपको सर्टेन डिस्टेंस पे और ये बिठाना है, करना है। अब लूज डायमंड इंडस्ट्री है, उसका जो वर्क स्टेशन है उसको घंटी बोलते हैं। अब एक घंटी पे 4 जन बैठते हैं। अब ये नए रूल के हिसाब से 1 जन ही बैठ सकेंगे। अब 1 जन बैठेंगे तो उनका खर्चा तो उतना ही आना है, प्लस और भी 10 उनको रखना, खिलाना पिना, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो उनको, और वीकली बेसिस पे पेमेंट देना पड़ता है मेजॉरिटी ऑफ
जस्ट टू इंटरप्ट यू, तो क्या सोल्यूशन है? अभी सुनने में ऐसा भी आया है कि ये जो डायमंड कटिंग पॉलिशिंग कंपनीज है, दे विल नॉट बी इंपोर्टिंग फ्रेश रफ, बिकॉज फ्रेश रफ आने से सप्लाई और बढ़ेगा पाइपलाइन में। So are they?
Sorry, I didn't heard.
No, what I'm saying is, what is one of the solutions?
Can you come again?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I'm saying one of the solution, what I understand from the diamond cutting polishing industry, is that they will like to cut down on the fresh import of roughs, so that there is no fresh supply of the cut and polish diamonds in the industry, so that things don't become further it degrades from there. Is that something you agree, that there should be a reduction in the rough to India? I hope.
और यहाँ बहुत सारे रिटेलर हैं, आपने बहुत डेंजरस क्वेश्चन पूछ दिया है। ऐसा है,
नहीं बताइए कोई, this is all within our trade.
Right now चाइना बाउंस बैक किया है। अब राइट नाउ चाइना ने बाउंस बैक किया है, आपने सुना होगा। अब चाइनीज कंपनी जो हैं, जो हमारे जो डायमंड ट्रेडर हैं, उन जिनको पैसा देना है उनको पैसा तो दे नहीं रहे, और जो वो दूसरों को, यू कांट बिलीव, दे आर आस्किंग 30% नीचे में नया लूज डायमंड उनसे डिमांड कर रहे हैं। अब 30% तो इनकी प्रॉफिट भी नहीं है लूज डायमंड इंडस्ट्री की। तो अगर वो आज इंपोर्ट करते हैं फ्रेश ये रफ और नया बनाते हैं, तो आज जो उनकी मूडी है, जो कैपिटल है इतना हाई कॉस्ट पे, जो रेट पे है, तो 30% नीचे अगर इंपोर्ट करेंगे, उनकी तो पूरी मूडी 30% नीचे चली जाएगी। तो नो वन इज डूइंग राइट नाउ बिजनेस।
So you think things are very complex when it comes to
जो भी नए डिमांड्स आ रहे हैं, at the same time they are not ready to import the diamonds. अगर वो इंपोर्ट करेंगे तो प्राइस में बहुत बड़ा फर्क आ जाएगा। तो ये बहुत बड़ा, गवर्नमेंट रियली वांट टू इंटरवेन दिस, नहीं तो डायमंड इंडस्ट्री विल बी इन अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम।
Right. I know, I understand.
लूज इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रहा हूं।
I just want to add one thing, सुमेश भाई।
क्योंकि वो पूरा एक्सपोर्ट है।
दिनेश भाई, आपका पॉइंट है इसमें कुछ?
Yeah, sure. So I think there are varied views in this particular subject, because the industry, diamond industry, especially the wholesale industry and the cutting and polishing industry, was not in the best shape even before COVID. So I don't think COVID is something that is really the denting force for the cutting and polishing.
It's added
it's added a little bit, but I think overall, in my understanding, this entire COVID will be at some point a phase which will pass on. I think there are more serious issues that needs to be sorted out by the diamond industry in particular. And very frankly, I believe that consumers still love diamonds very much. They are just concerned with some basic issues that we as industry needs to solve. Right, like like for example, I just give you an idea. The kind of transparency that we have been able to provide with Divine Solicitors has really impacted a lot on the pricing. So I think if industries, if people from the industry come up with solutions, I think diamond industry can really bounce back tremendously, and there is a huge potential. I mean, in India there is only 2% of people who have really bought diamonds. I mean, there is.
Jignesh bhai, I was talking about the loose diamond industry, which is dependent on the exports, not for the domestic market. Domestic market, I am very much positive. For India, I am very much positive. Indian market to बहुत अच्छा करने वाला. But I am talking the loose diamond guys, they will bleed because they are dependent.
Yeah, Manoj, you are right on that. And many times what is happening is the industry is focusing too much on cutting and polishing area. And really, I think even as manufacturers, we need to think about even the customers, customers being even consumers. I mean, you see any other industry, you see cars or watches, the manufacturers really try and excite the consumers, right? It's not just the channels of the industry, but even the consumers that really the manufacturers have to really think of. I think something of this kind needs to be planted in the minds of Indian manufacturers.
Jignesh, since you are very closely working with the industry, just tell me, how is the inventory in the pipeline? Do you have a lot of stocks in the Indian pipeline, or you think we can absorb it in going forward?
Very interesting question, Somesh bhai. So, what is happening is, overall, there are too many layers in the entire channel of distribution, right? Now, these layers are getting cut off because the margins are very squeezed. So people are not having enough room to really survive. So that is the major thing, which means what? It means that a lot of inventory is not needed anymore because the layers doesn't exist. So that is one major issue. The other issue is, I think, efficiencies of scale and even technology. There's too many efficiencies coming up with technology, systems, processes. So when you needed maybe, 100 crores of diamond, you probably need maybe, 70 crores or 50 crores now, because you can still come up with the same turnover, and everybody is thinking in these lines. Nobody wants to increase the inventory to get the same performance, the same sales. So I completely agree that there is a little, pressure on the inventory, especially within the pipeline. Right. Honestly, I don't see consumers have an issue. So I still feel that there is a huge scope on the consumer side. People will still buy more diamonds, but throughout the channel, there will be lesser inventory all the way through.
True. I think the point is, if retailers like Suvroj Chandraji and Pratap is able to sell more, then there's no problem. As long as retailers, consumers are there, we'll have everything going.
Absolutely. I think as an industry, we need to excite the consumer.
Focus on the consumer, right? I think, thanks Manoj bhai for your points. We'll move on to Mr. Chetan Mehta from Lakshmi Diamonds. Chetan bhai, are you there?
Yes. Good morning to everyone.
Yes. One of the youngest, probably, entrepreneurs and self-made entrepreneur in the diamond industry in India. You must have seen, lows, ups and downs in your career, but this must be, I think, the biggest. But tell me, you're a hardworking gentleman. What are your plans to overcome this COVID-19 challenge in your business?
See, as a manufacturer, there is a lot of challenges in the industry. There was a challenge, there will be a challenge. We have to accept this. This is just a small hurdle in between to pass on to the next stage. That's it. So now the thing is, all it's dependent on the retailers. We have to help retailers to openly help them by giving the products in the right way. We have to give them a positivity that their good sale will be there, because a manufacturer always dependent on a retailer. So we have to think, I think it is not a very big challenge. It is just a phase we will go through. And I think when it was an exercise and all, 45, 50 days, our offices, manufacturing unit was completely shut down, and we were thinking what is going to happen. So I think India will bounce back very soon, but we at the ground levels, we don't deny there will be a problem, 100%. I'm not telling there is no problem, but there will be a problem, but I don't see as big problem as, I think we will go through this challenge very soon. That's what I'm feeling, but I am every day preparing the challenges, like how to come out. Like we know we can't, as a wholesaler and manufacturer, we used to travel state to state to show the products. Now I'm making my portal to put all the live designs, live stock. People can come in and see the stock. They can select it for the next. I'm just thinking what to be done next, because we have to focus for the next now.
Right. And the manufacturing side, what kind of a changes? Because, as even Manoj bhai was saying, in the one workstation, you used to have, say, 4 people sitting. But now with the new social distancing and the safety norms, you'll be kind of restricting all that. What kind of changes you are looking at a small, medium manufacturer like you internally in terms of planning, cost cutting? Could you share some ideas?
Like as a manufacturer, obviously it will be very difficult to take out the cost of the manufacturing and all those things. But totally, it's a loose diamond, and cutting diamonds is totally different. Manufacturing unit is something different. Where Manoj Bhai was telling, on one gunty 4 people will sit. Here we have one desk for one person, where we can maintain our social distancing, and we will see to that we make all the precautionary measures. We take care sanitizing all the factories properly, and we will cut the, I think more than cutting the cost, we have to take more work. We have to work more time on the designs, the quality what we were making. And I think social distancing will happen as it was happening in manufacturing. We can do that. It is not very big deal. And only the thing is we have to focus how the sale will go up and how we can help retailer. Now it's a challenge with the retailer for the manufacturer, how we can help him, because we have to help all the retailers to do his best and he can sell the products. Then only we can do our thing. See, now for example, a lot of stock is lying with me, and I'm just thinking, as soon as this things happen, we have to open our manufacturing unit. How we will survive next? I'm just planning what is the next, how we will have a rotation, because it's a pipeline. Without them, we are incomplete. So it is, I think it's line by line, we have to take care of everyone. If we help each and everyone and we hold their hands, I think we can go to the end and we can reach our goal.
So you see any changes in inventory management with your retailers, say retailers sitting in, let us say Karnataka, in a tier 2 city, maybe that inventory you will shuffle it with a big retailer sitting in Andhra or in Kerala. What kind of any trends you see in that side?
So Subesh bhai, see, I'll tell you very frankly, because ground level truth is something very different. This is all assumptions, or we think tomorrow it will happen like that. Once the retail open his shop, only we will come to know what exactly is happening, what they wanted. They want us to exchange the jewelry. They want what they wanted exactly. So I think it's all ground level thing. Once the stores are open, then only we can think what next to be done. But we have to prepare for everything. We have to get prepared for everything for the next what is going to happen. That's what I think. It's necessity now.
Thank you. Thank you, Chetan bhai. We have a next very interesting speaker. We have Sati Nair from the Rapaport India. Sati, are you there?
Yes, Sumesh.
Yes. Good morning. So, Sati, tell me, as a Rapaport India representative, Rapaport is a global standards for the pricing of diamonds. You have your Rapaport price sheet coming every fortnight. So we understand that your last price sheet, which was somewhere in the month of March, and there was seen a drop in diamond prices by 7 to 8%, and there was a lot of resistance from the trade to accept those prices. And you also run a very large diamond trading network called RapNet. So what is the trends right now in the RapNet? And secondly, firstly, your views on the drop in the Rapaport price sheet.
Thank you, Sumesh, for having me on this panel. I hope I am audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes. Listen, this is a very difficult situation, and hearing all the perspective of all the panelists, it's very interesting to hear that where the industry is going. The diamonds are always going to be forever. The dream is it's going to be it's about a committed long-term relationship.
Right.
Coming to your question, the price changes. Listen, the price changes. What happened in the March 20th? It's not just happened at that day. It's a reflection of the prices, it's movement of the prices from January till then. That's what the prices, the changes have happened. And of course, there are a lot of resistance and anger and from the industry about the change of timing, and people pulled off stocks and everything. But we always have to speak the truth. If when the value of the inventory goes down and then we don't speak the truth about what the prices has gone, it doesn't make any sense. So the question about how it is going to be in the pricing in the future, that's really complicated. First of all, we have to consider there are two main primary markets. That is China and United States. China is seeing some bounce back, which everybody knows. Now we see in RapNet a lot of searching is happening. People are looking for diamonds. So they're still looking for diamonds. So the supply of diamonds in short term is very limited because currently we cannot ship the goods. The India has lockdown until May 3 and we don't know whether it is going to happen after that also. So if we have a relaxation from the government, the industry get a relaxation so that they can export the goods to China and Hong Kong, it will be good for the manufacturing industry. There will be liquidity for them. Right. We are expecting that the things are not perfect in China, but we do expect hopes and it will be over by next few weeks. And it's not going to be bad. And what's happening in sectors, eventually, probably if, and in terms of movement of prices, it's going to depend on supply of diamonds. As long as India is closed and there is no manufacturing happen, and eventually, simultaneously, America also picks up fast along with China. There's no manufacturing and increased supply of diamonds from the manufacturers, and the prices will remain the same. There's a lesser movement of chance of going down of the prices. That's what I have to say.
Right. And what's happening on your RapNet, online trading platform? Is there any trading happening right now? Is there any trades you see? Is there any liquidity? Is there any buyer or seller right now? I'm sure there must be sellers. Any buyers there?
Yes, there are definitely. There are a lot of buyers are still, as I said, with the restriction, what's happening is right now. They cannot, even if the searching happening, you cannot send anything from India. That's what the situation is. But definitely there are buyers, there are suppliers also in RapNet. Okay. And we are very positive about it. And we are watching at what's happening across the globe. And we are very hopeful that it is going to come back very soon.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Sati, for your insights. I think now we can take some Q&As and go back to our moderators once.
And I just want to add one more thing, Sumesh.
Please tell me. Yes. Go ahead.
Just want to add one more thing. It's not just only the supply of the increased supply of manufacturing. It can affect the prices. See, look, the banks are also pressing the money. If the banks give some moratorium, and I think the RBI has already declared that some of the 3 months moratorium for the term loan also.
Right.
If the banks don't trust for money to the manufacturers and they have a relaxation getting it, they don't sell the goods in a panic. So the prices may not go down. But to create the liquidity, to pay to the banks also, if we are going to sell it in a panic mode, that's going to create a problem.
Right. So I think, in America, the government, the US government has pumped in a lot of liquidity.
Yes.
Like in India, we don't have that kind of luxury here in India. So it needs to be seen what government does. And what we have seen in the past is that gems and jewelry, apparently, unfortunately, is not a big priority for them, unfortunately. All right. Thanks.
And marriages will go up. Engagement rings will go up. And solitaires will do better.
100%. That's why diamond is a timeless product.
Yes. And we are very hopeful that 30 to 90 pointers will have a better demand in China. As people will coming out of the isolation and will take a decision to get married.
True.
And another thing is that we have to think about, right now it's a time for to think about how we digitally trade. Because there is going to be a lot of restriction for traveling and movement of people from across the globe also. So the world is actually going into the digital mode. So I think people should think about, with the better designs and making a good website and putting the images into the website and do it digitally. And that's electronic trading is the way to go right now.
True. I think that's where you have your RapNet platform, doing so well in B2B space. Krantiji, are you there? We have few questions here.
Yeah, we have few questions. Can I just
go ahead. Yeah. Go
One
ahead.
question is from NSD.
Before that, Krantiji, I have a request. Can you put the screen in a proper way?
Yeah.
Can you just change the screen setting? And we can see more speakers and
See, one is if the manufacturers are selling directly to the consumers, so what will happen to the retailers? I think this question has come up in last few webinars where everybody is talking about digital going online. So that question is
what will happen to the middleman, to the wholesalers?
Middleman, to the wholesalers.
Yeah. Chetan bhai, you want to answer, or Jignesh bhai, Manoj bhai? This is for you people. Who will take up this?
Yeah, Shomesh ji.
Yes, Manoj bhai.
जो होलसेलर है वो कहीं ना कहीं आज नहीं वर्षों से रिटेल स्टोर डायरेक्ट एंड कस्टमर को ज्वेलरी बेचते हैं, बट जो फील, जो टच एक रिटेलर दे सकता है वो कभी भी एक होलसेलर नहीं दे सकता. होलसेलर कैन गिव ओनली द प्राइस पॉइंट. ये आपको मैं बता देता हूँ. प्राइस कंसर्न केवल है कि मैं वो इतना 10% 20% डाउन में आपको बेच सकता हूँ, लेकिन जो वेराइटी जो क्योंकि एक होलसेलर अगर किसी को बेच रहा है किसी एंड कस्टमर को, तो वो वेराइटी है, उसका डिजाइन एक मोनोटोनस होता है, एक पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज में होता है. लेकिन एक रिटेलर के पास डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज के ज्वेलरी होती है. तो वो ओनली हैव टू वन रिटेलर को क्या करना है कि अपना डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म जो है वो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग करना पड़ेगा. जो मैं थोड़ी देर पहले भी बताया कि वो उनको हर तरह की जो मार्केटिंग है, प्रोडक्ट कैटलॉगिंग है, जो होलसेलर आज तक कर रहा था, वो बहुत सारी चीजें अब रिटेलर को अडॉप्ट करनी पड़ेगी. और जिस होलसेलर जो है वो कभी भी एंड कस्टमर तक उस लेवल तक कभी नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे. नो डाउट ऑनलाइन ज्वेलरी मार्केटिंग इज डिफरेंट, जो आज कैरेट लेन कर रहा है और भी बहुत सारे कंपनीज कर रहे हैं, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट इश्यू. लेकिन जो फील है डायरेक्ट कस्टमर को ये तक पहुंचना है, रिटेलर विल बी द किंग.
Sumesh bhai, I would like to intervene that. I would like to add just a few things in that. Manoj bhai, I agree. अभी अपने को ये समझने का जरूरत है, not all manufacturer or wholesalers doing this. There are only few people doing this. Not everyone are involved. So let's not think everyone are doing this. This is some people, they do it, and I think let's not concentrate on that very deeply, because majority people who are doing wholesaler and manufacturing, they directly go to the retailers. They know they are not able to provide so much of designs. They are not, maybe the price is a point, but now the price is not point. The designs and the quality and from which brand they are buying it, that is more important now. So I think few people doing that, we should not put all the blame to the whole of the industry, wholesalers, manufacturers. There are few people who are doing it, and there are few consumers, they are purchasing it. But today, the people wanted to buy from a brand, from a known people, where they understand they are buying the genuine things with a proper designing.
Good point, Chetan bhai. Yes, every stakeholder, I have my just view on this. Every stakeholder, whether he's a manufacturer, retailer, wholesaler, has to add value to the business.
Exactly, Sumesh bhai. So I have a viewpoint on this.
हाँ, Jignesh bhai आइए.
So हर एक चैनल में जितने भी लेयर्स है, चाहे वो माइनर्स हो, कटर्स पॉलिशर्स हो या रिटेलर्स हो, हर एक लेयर का, हर एक का एक रोल है जो पूरी चैनल में प्ले होता है. And that is a very, very important role that person plays in that entire channel. The ultimate thing is what the consumer receives is the ultimate final product of all the value additions brought by all the different people in the whole channel. So I think अपना viewpoint शायद ये होना चाहिए सबसे पहले तो कि हम लोग पूरी एक team है. As a whole industry, we are an entire team. We are not competing each other. We are not. I mean, there is a competition internal, but for the consumer, अगर मैं consumer को ध्यान में रखूं, तो अपने को ऐसा सोचना चाहिए कि पूरी की पूरी इंडस्ट्री में जितने भी चैनल्स है, चाहे वो मेरा रिटेलर हो या जो माइनर है जिससे मैं रफ डायमंड खरीदता हूँ, हम सब एक टीम है. एक टीम बन के अगर कंज्यूमर एक्सपीरियंस बेटर कर सके, अगर उसको कॉन्फिडेंस बेटर दे सके, तो आई थिंक नथिंग बेटर. बिकॉज सुमेश भाई कैसा है कि हर एक रोल जो है, हर एक का वो लिमिटेड रोल ही प्ले कर सकता है. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अ रिटेलर कैन हैव एन एक्सीलेंट रिलेशनशिप्स विद द कंज्यूमर, बहुत अच्छा रिलेशन रख सकता है, मगर जो एक मैन्युफैक्चरर कर सकता है वो शायद रिटेलर नहीं कर पाएगा, which is actually bringing provenance, for example, on the table of the consumer. वो it has to be done together with the retailer and the manufacturer. And I will tell you one thing, अपने को draw करना चाहिए inspiration from other industries. You think about the car industry or a watch industry or a liquor industry or chocolates industry. Think of any industries. There is a very integrated connection between the manufacturer and the retailer, and similar the logics will have to be applied for our industry also. We have to move out of trader mentality. We have to come out of that, think about the consumer, add more value, and do the best we can for exciting the consumer.
Right. I think what we're all saying is that we all need to have core competency. If you are in that segment,
absolutely.
if you're in a retail, be the best retailer. And I tell you, in this uncertain times, it is not advisable to venture out of your domain. Stick to your domain, see what you are good in, and excel in that. I think that's the thing.
Sumesh bhai, I would like to add to Jinesh bhai one point. Jinesh bhai has told us we are all layer of industry, and everyone are playing their important roles, and we go out of the role, it will be only a temporary. We can't be permanent into that. So we need to understand whatever we are best at, we have to go through with that.
Absolutely.
Only if we change our track somewhere, we are not fit to be here and there. If you want to come openly to the consumer, open a retail store and do it very openly. Let's not come out of the layer and pipe down out of the.
Yes, sir. Point well taken.
Sumesh ji, I want to add one very small point here. I cannot talk supply chain, and I cannot tell you, with you have stalwart sitting here or sare experienced hai. I appreciate Chetan's positivity, and I thought whatever he said was very positive. You underestimate the consumer. Consumer आपके पास आता है एक पूरे एक्सपीरियंस के लिए. एक पीस ऑफ ज्वेलरी इज नॉट जस्ट कि हाँ इतनी सस्ती मिली और मैंने खरीद लिया. ये डिस्काउंट स्टोर नहीं है. आप you cannot put yourself in the same place as a t-shirt and say एक white t-shirt 100 रुपए की मिल रही थी, यहाँ मुझे 70 की मिल रही है तो मैं आ रहा हूँ. जो कंज्यूमर आ रही है स्मॉल और बिग, मैंने पहले भी बोला, थिंक आस्क एनी वुमन, वो आपको अपनी यादें बता सकती है कि क्या जुड़ी हुई है हर पीस ऑफ ज्वेलरी के साथ. तो यू आर अंडर एस्टिमेटिंग द एक्सपीरियंस दैट दे गो थ्रू. तो वो हम कह रहे हैं, जो डिजिटली भी आप कह रहे हैं, कल कोई नहीं कह रहा कि हाँ ई कॉमर्स पे सारा फाइन ज्वेलरी आ जाएगी. नहीं, हम कह रहे हैं डिस्कवरेबिलिटी आ जाएगी. वो जाके चेक करेगी कि कौन से 4 रिटेलर्स हैं जिनके पास, या 2 हैं जिनके पास मैं जाना चाहती हूँ. तो कीप योर वेबसाइट्स रेडी एंड एक्सपीरियंस, ताकि वो जाके देख सके उसे क्या पसंद आ रहा है, कहाँ पसंद आ रहा है. बट अल्टीमेटली जो फाइनर टच है वो आपके साथ आके चाय पीना चाहती है, आपके साथ आके अपना ट्रस्ट फैक्टर आप अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं कर सकते, एक्सपीरियंस आप अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं कर सकते. क्या होगा कोविड में, कैसे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग होगी, ऑल दैट वी विल लर्न एज वी गो अलोंग. But there's a large part of a consumer experience that cannot be done from a different part. I'm totally with Jignesh when he says that we are a team. Every person has to do a bit of it. DPA will do small bit, a manufacturer, retailer, everybody has their own bit to create that experience or reach that experience. But it's ultimately the consumer is looking for something beyond the price point. Price is important and I will not dispute that. सोने का भाव बढ़ता गया, मतलब that itself is a big thing, na? It's not just the discounting which is going to matter. So
just to add to that,
Sumesh
bhai, just one question. I think I totally agree with you that we can't discount the emotional attachment with the jewelry.
One by one, yes.
But last week only we had a very interesting session on what if there is a flow of consumers coming for selling the old gold. Dwelling on that, not going on to negativity, of course there is an emotional attachment to the jewelry. What if, I mean, my question here is to maybe to the retailers here, people will come back to sell their diamond jewelry also. Is there going to be uniformity of price of selling back? You think that people will come and sell diamonds post-COVID, diamond jewelry COVID-19, and what will be the uniform strategy as such, if at all there is that flow?
I think the diamond buyback is a very different ball game. Every retailer will have his own personal, unlike a gold which is uniform, diamonds are not uniform. But I'm coming back to the Richaji's point that the brand, when they buy jewelry from, in today's difficult, uncertain times, it is actually the brand which you are associating with also matters a lot. It plays as an anchor. So consumer, when going out and buying it from say Tanishq or Abharan or PC Chandra, that adds on to the buying experience and that whole thing. So I agree that the brand associated while making a purchase is very important.
And Sumesh bhai, don't also forget the product brands. Beyond store brands, the industry needs more product brands as well.
Yeah, we hope we should reach there once.
सोमेश भाई उसमें एक लाइन और जोड़ना चाहूंगा, रिचा जी जो बोल रही थी, कोई भी जो कस्टमर है वो ज्वेलरी जो खरीदने आती है कोई भी स्टोर में, तो वो अपना एक सपना लेके आती है, अपने दिमाग में ना एक वो बहुत बड़ा ख्वाब लेके आती है, और एक्चुअल जो होते हैं ना ज्वेलर, वो सपने के सौदागर होते हैं। और जो लेडी आई स्टोर में, उसने उसको अगर ओवरवेल्म्ड किया, उस सपने को अच्छे से हथेली में रख के उनको साकार होते हुए दिखाया, तो वो इनकैश हो जाता है। लेकिन जिस ज्वेलर ने पूरा, मतलब ट्रेडिशनल ज्वेलर को खासकर मैं पॉइंट आउट करूंगा कि अगर उसको टेक इट ऑफ ग्रांटेड ले लिए, उन सपनों के नहीं, ये तो हमसे आके खरीदेंगे, करी, दे आर लूजिंग बिजनेस। इसलिए उस सपनों को रिटेलर ही साकार कर सकता है, एंड रिटेलर आर द बेस्ट पर्सन टू गिव jewelry.
That's what it says. The diamond is like selling a dream. It's a dream merchant business. It is selling a
emotions,
desire. It's a dream thing. And of course, product wise, I think Divine Solitaire Forever Mark is doing a great to build a generic brand names in this industry. Kranti ji, we have Mr. Ramesh Davanam raising his hand. He wants to ask a question. Can you take him?
Yeah, just a sec. I will just take
Ramesh Davanam is here from Bangalore. I think he wants to ask something about the transparency, about the certification, which has always been a very contentious issue. The certification. Ramesh ji, namaskara.
Hi sir. Hi sir.
Welcome.
Thank you for the webinars. I think you are making our idle minds. We are not devil workshop. We are becoming more enlightening and empowering.
We are trying our bit. We are only able to do what we can do.
Of course. Yeah. One thing we are learning. We are jewelers are always positive. We are always polite and patient. Now we added one more word as positiveness. So the 3 P's are working now. And as a diamond industry, it has moved away forward from the gold industry in the trust factor or the design factor or the presentation factor. I think I am a business partner of Jignesh. I think I know how he works, how he sells the product with more transparency, even changing design. But unfortunately, I am hearing a lot of unethical practices are happening in certification and grading. Will it not, because you have foiled for a long time to bring a trust on this factor, because always diamond has been referred as a shukra that brings the luck. So now this unethical practice in the diamond grade and weight is affecting. Can you throw some light on it?
I think Ramesh, what you're saying, Ramesh, just to put your question in a proper frame, you are saying there are few segments of the industry who are doing some unethical practices also, which we don't. Let us not paint the whole industry with the same brush.
Of course, but see, small poison drop will spoil the whole entire water. But I want, because this DPR, somebody can have an authority which can enforce. Simply, a lot of people are doing certification, which should be stopped. I think there should be some certification, some legality should be given.
Before I go to my eminent, speakers and experts who can answer it, if you want to know my view, I think Ramesh, we all know when we are buying something or getting a service of something, what we are getting into. If we are buying a Vistara airline ticket, we know what experience we are going to be expecting. And I'm not saying say Air India or some other airline, which half the time doesn't take on time. We know what we are getting into. I think most of the time we know what we are getting into, but in spite of that, why people get into, that is also something to reflect on. And with this, my observation, you may agree. I'll move on
because
your views.
Even we as a retailer, we depend upon somebody else. That is the issue.
Sure. I would like to answer this, Sumesh bhai, for Ramesh bhai in a short term. I think
yes, go ahead.
Ramesh bhai, I know there are few people do this. It is, yes, sure. But it is our retail responsibility to take care of quality properly. We do proper quality check before inserting in our stock. And we look down in market what it is selling, from where we are buying. That is important. From what sources we are buying it. That is more important. Now, when we check the prices of any of the quality, And when we see it is reasonable, it is okay. But when we see some quality of diamonds which is you're getting for easier money, we need to understand why we are getting it. We should have thoroughly our quality checked from our side when we insert the stock. When we insert, I think nothing will happen, because in this world always there will be something or other, negative or positive. We can't make everything positive. So there will be few people who will do this, but we have to thoroughly check that what we are using and what we are pushing on in our stocks. It is 100% proper quality of diamond. We should have a proper quality check at our businesses. Then only we can come out of this, rather than we are blaming any of the institute or certification or whatever it is. It is difficult to find out what is happening and how it is happening. It our side, if we prepare, if we put our bulletproof jacket properly, I think nobody can shoot you. So we have to prepare ourselves very correctly. That's what I think.
Just going forward on Chetan Bhai's point, and if I can just quickly extrapolate that point. So Ramesh, it's a very, very important concern. But one thing is very clear, that in an open capitalist world, we cannot stop people from not doing things and doing things. So some problems will always keep coming up, and some people will try and find a shortcut, which is something that, you know, overall the industry and the consumers have to finally understand and take the right decision. So I don't think we can stop people from not doing unscrupulous activities. But what is more important, Ramesh bhai, and to your point, is just think about one thing. Which industry can you think of? I mean, from morning to evening, you are consuming so many products. You are consuming toothpaste, you are consuming perfumes, you are consuming watches, cars, so many products. Tell me one industry or one product you buy based on only a laboratory certificate and nothing else. You know, no other industry such a model actually exists where only a laboratory certificate is given to the consumer. That is basically where, you know, I think the industry has to walk that extra mile, has to create its own positioning, has to create its own niche. Only then the consumer problem will be able to be solved. Trust me, Ramesh bhai, every industry in this world has laboratories behind it. There are laboratories for food products, there are laboratories for electronics, for luxury products, perfumes, everything. But consumer sees clear positioning that is coming from guarantees, not just an analysis report given by a laboratory. And this is the need of the day.
Right. Having said that, Jignesh, I think it is also a time has come that those players who are doing wrong things, whether laboratory or a wholesaler, retailer, it should be named and shamed. They should be taken to task, so that it sets a right example for the rest of the industry. So if Ramesh bhai, if there is a lab which is, you feel, doing wrong things, I think you have all the right to take them to a legal course, to kind of, you know, name them and bring it to the notice of the other trade bodies. That's my personal view.
सोमेश भाई, एक पॉइंट मैं इसमें ये बताना चाहूंगा. एक एग्जांपल देके, कोई भी सिटी में देयर इज ए, कभी जब मैन्युफैक्चरर किसी रिटेलर के पास बैठा हो, नॉट ऑल रिटेलर, तो ही जस्ट क्राइज कि देखो हमारे सिटी में, जस्ट एग्जांपल टेक्निकल टर्म ले रहा हूँ मैं, EFVVS, हमारे सिटी में EFVVS जो है ना, ये बोर्ड लगा हुआ है, ये तो पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट में बेच रहा है, फॉर एग्जांपल 50,000 में बेच रहा है, कोई 40, तो दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्राइस टर्म. आज मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि वही चीज दे कैन नॉट कंपेयर देमसेल्फ फ्रॉम तनिष्क. तनिष्क वही, उसके 3 गुना ज्यादा प्राइस है जो वो बाकी रिटेलर बेच रहे हैं, उससे 3 गुना ज्यादा प्राइस पे बेच रहा है, फिर भी कस्टमर वहां से ले रहा है, क्योंकि लोगों का भरोसा है कि आज वहां जो मिल रहा है वो EFVVS मिल रहा है. आज वो अपने मैन्युफैक्चरर से प्राइस से जो निगोशिएशन कर रहा है, और बहुत कम रिटेलर हैं जो अपने मैन्युफैक्चरर से क्वालिटी की निगोशिएशन करते हैं. जो रिटेलर अपने मैन्युफैक्चरर से क्वालिटी की निगोशिएशन करते हैं ना, उनके साथ कभी भी ये चीज प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती है. एंड दे विल बी लाइक तनिष्क. उनका भी ब्रांड अपने अपने शहर में इसी तरह से है, और वो अपने आप को कंपेयर ऐसे ही ब्रांड से करते हैं.
मनोज में एक लाइन इसमें ऐड करूंगा. ये सिर्फ इसलिए हो रहा है, हम सब यूनाइटेड नहीं है. हम खुद से लड़ नहीं पा रहे हैं, बिकॉज हम हमारे खुद के घर से नहीं लड़ पा रहे. जब हमारे खुद से हम नहीं लड़ेंगे, हमारे घर से नहीं लड़ेंगे, when we stand together, all the problem gets sorted out. The problem is we are not standing together. We are self-competing with each other. When we self-compete with each other, it is difficult to come out. अगर हम एक जैसा प्लेटफॉर्म बना दें, तो I think ऐसी कोई differences बात आएगी नहीं.
Yeah, but Chandrabhai is an open market. It is, as Jignesh Bhai says, a capitalist world, and it is a luxury product. I think everybody will have to make his own.
It's a dream or a wish.
I just want to add, Sumesh, one point. When it comes to the certification, see, the brands plays an important role. It's not just, having said that, it doesn't mean that the retailers, the local retailers or local jewelry shops cannot do it. Because people now, if the consumer is coming into the retail stores, the consumer is full aware about what they're buying it. It's not the previous scenario. They know what the color is, they know what the price is, they know what the fluorescence is, everything they know. And certification. What happens? The labs comes into India 18 or 20 years back. 18 years back, there was no GI, there was no IGI. I mean, hardly people used to do the certification. If you want to do it, if people want to do any malpractice, the people can still do it. It's not only in the diamond industry. Every industry can do it. There can be always loopholes. That's why people go behind the brands. That's why people go with the trust factor. That's why it stays. So stopping the certification doesn't mean that the problems is going to stop.
Correct. So just to sum up, it's not just the lab certificate which is enough. It is the credibility and the name behind that retailer, the brand which you are buying from.
Absolutely. That's very important. It's the name, the brand.
And for the retailer, it is again same way very critical who his supplier is, from where he's sourcing from. So there's entire trust goes in the supply chain, in the pipeline.
See, I have seen cases, for example, I'll tell you, somebody told me, someone came with me a diamond with a GI, with a certificate. I mean, I'm not naming the labs, with a certificate, which is saying that 40 back, I mean, with the huge discount, which is not getting in the market. So that person said, no, I'm not buying it because I don't trust this. So the people should know where they're buying it from.
Right.
If you know where you're buying it, if you trust that person, they will not be going to know. There's not going to be people still buying it without certificate. It's not that everybody is buying with the certificate. There are jewelers buying without certificate. There are traders buying without certificate. So having said that, the certification is not the issue. How we are ethically, how we are transparently doing the business, that's where we are going to put our attention.
Very true, very true, very true.
I think it has been a very stimulating discussion. If we don't have any other questions, we can do a small opinion poll that when do you think this lockdown in India will open and when we'll be able to get back to our business, to our offices and shops. We can do a small opinion poll. Richa ji, what's your opinion? By when you think you'll be back to your BKC office?
I'm hoping it's sooner than later. But, we've been looking at not just when we go back to offices, but when the consumer really starts, when business starts to pick up, when we as an industry start to pick up. And I personally, again, this is my personal opinion, I think it's going to be around Diwali, not before that. Okay. I think the consumer pickup will be in stores, will be.
You're saying October, November, huh?
Yeah.
Long time. Jignesh bhai, your view? Just a view, opinion.
Yeah, I know, I agree. So the first quarter, I think almost everybody here has already understood or agreed that the first quarter is almost gone. I don't think we'll see the first quarter seeing any real bounce back. I think hopefully second quarter should be okay. I think there should be a reasonable revival coming in the second quarter.
You see, second quarter means from July onwards?
Yeah, from July onwards, we'll see a reasonable revival kicking in. But really things will be back to normal and maybe even better than normal, probably in the third and the fourth quarter. That's my clear opinion.
Wonderful. Chetan bhai, your view?
Yeah, I think
diamonds.
Pardon me?
When do you think you'll be able to start selling your diamond jewelry?
I think we are preparing. I think we are coming back very soon. That's what we cross the fingers. And I think now a lot of weddings have been cancelled. So there will be huge weddings in if government permit, November, December, Jan, Feb. So I think in August, almost I feel in August, I think market will start Now, if it's this lockdown opens, I think August it will pick up a little bit, and I think in November, December we can bounce back very soon. So I am very much positivity. I think we will bounce back very soon.
Diwali
What's
time.
my feeling is.
Right.
Yes,
Sati,
yes.
Sati, your view, when you think our Indian markets...
It's very important that first of all we stay safe and healthy.
Right.
And at the same time, it's also important that we bring liquidity and we run our business in a very safe manner. And I think looking at the situation, even if it's opening up by May 3rd, I don't think looking at the situation, the number is going up in India. Right. I don't know whether that will be an easy opening on May 3rd also. So even if it opens up, the first important necessity for the people, they will go for the necessities. They're not going for the luxury items like diamonds being a luxury. Right. So I think it will take few more months. Maybe Diwali time will be,
Diwali time, right? Diwali
yeah,
time.
that will be. I seeing it in India. And if the government gives an operational relaxation to the customs, maybe globally, China, Hong Kong, or America may be
right.
Slowly.
Manoj bhai, your views? When you think your
देखो शोमेश भाई, मैं इसमें बहुत ज्यादा ही ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हूँ. अच्छा. मेरे हिसाब से जो पहला जो टर्म है न्यू नॉर्मल, न्यू नॉर्मल मीन्स जैसे वो सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग एंड सेफ्टी मेजर्स जो कोविड के वजह से लेना है, करना है, तो उस सब चीजों को लेके आई थिंक सो जुलाई में ही रादर वी विल बी ओपनिंग.
Okay, July you are saying. That's quite optimistic here.
Everyone will be open, but with that all restrictions. और वो restriction में की तैयारी जिस ज्वेलर ने, रिटेलर ने अच्छे से कर ली, तो they will have good business also. क्योंकि मुझे तो हर तरह से जो पैसा है वो ज्वेलरी फील्ड में आने को ही दिख रहा है, बाकी हर जगह से. और इस जो कोविड से जो लोग घबरा के अपना कॉस्ट कटिंग कर लिया, कॉस्ट कटिंग इन द सेंस उन्होंने अपना फैट कम किया तो ठीक है, लेकिन अगर उन्होंने अपना मसल कम किया तो they will be weaker. तो उनको इस कॉस्ट कटिंग अपना फैट कम करना है, अपना मसल कम नहीं करना है. और न्यू हाँ नहीं आई मीन टू से हेल्थ के हिसाब से बिजनेस में भी अब जिस चीज की जरूरत है उसकी भी डर के अभी कॉस्ट कटिंग के चक्कर में उसको कम कर लिया तो दे विल सफर. एंड मेरे हिसाब से जितना नुकसान हो रहा है वो सब दिवाली के बाद या पोस्ट क्रिसमस के बाद मार्च तक में कंप्लीट हो जाएगी, क्योंकि बहुत सारा पैसा जो दूसरे जगह से बचा हुआ इस फील्ड में आएगा. एंड आई एम वेरी मच ऑप्टिमिस्टिक. रिटेलर्स को बहुत खास तैयारी करनी चाहिए इन दिनों कि अपने नए वे ऑफ मार्केटिंग के लिए कैसे कस्टमर को अपने यहाँ पहुंचाएंगे. नो डाउट दैट दिस इज अ न्यू नॉर्मल वे दे हैव टू अडॉप्ट. और जो हमारी पुरानी नॉर्मल थी वो तो डेफिनेटली आफ्टर दिवाली या आफ्टर क्रिसमस ही हम देख पाएंगे.
राइट. Sorvoji, you are there. Sorvoji from PC Chandra.
He's there.
We have him and Pratap. Sorvobhai, can you hear me? Pratap, are you there? Hello.
Muted. Yeah.
Unmute.
Yeah, Shauroji.
Yeah. I believe, as market, we are geared up to open. We had been waiting patiently. I'm very optimistic that the market will bounce back and we are going to do a decent business. But yes, end of August, September is the realistic picture probably we are looking at.
August, September. All right, good. Pratap, your views?
Pratap ji?
Well, you have to unmute.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I too am of the same opinion. I think by July we should see some kind of a revival, and around Diwali things should be back to normal. So I'm very positive. So 3 months maybe will be a little tough. That's April, May, and June. But July onwards we should see things picking up, and I think peaking and getting to normal by September.
Wonderful. I think on this optimistic note, from July to, I think, Diwali, we all agree we should be back to this normal, and we would have done a lot of learning and unlearning in this period, which will be stay with us for our life. We have Govindan Bhimaji with us. Bhima sir, you want to ask any question?
Everybody says,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Govindan sir, yes.
Here I have listened to all the everybody's views.
Right.
The main discussion was about the diamond industry. In Kerala, people opting for the existing marriages are happening. 90% of the marriages are happening mainly into plain jewelry. About 20% are depends on the diamond jewelry.
Okay.
Here everybody says here diamond jewelry they will manufacture and the styling and also will start marketing everything start out by June, July like that. But in Kerala, I believe that by May end or June, the jewelry business will start, out of which 20% will be of the diamond sector. I think by mid-May or June, definitely start out. Only thing is we have to check up the market properly because the old gold arrival will be more than the selling. So we have planned everything. We have Kerala jewelry, South jewelry. We have discussed about all those things in this last 5 days. How to face the situation. Accordingly, we have discussed with each and everybody. We have come to a conclusion. Accordingly, we are planning. We will watch about first 2 or 3 days. Then after that, we will finalize the decision about how to go ahead with the market situation. We have come to a conclusion that way. That's a scenario in South.
Right.
Kerala and South, other states.
Right.
Okay, this is my view.
Yes. Thank you, Govindan.
Definitely will.
I think the most,
since about 1 month, 3 to 5,000 marriages in postponed, not cancelled. Okay. They are waiting to lockdown to if the lockdown is lifted, the business will start. The marriages will happen, but minimum quantity of the jewelry and will be purchased by the most of the customers have paid the money in advance. Here is such a system is prevailing in Kerala, prevailing in Kerala, some in Tamil Nadu, in some areas also. So they don't bother about the money. Most 80%, 70 to 80% money has been addressed given to the jewelers.
Right.
That's a scenario in Kerala and other areas.
Right.
Okay, this is my view.
Thank you, Govindan sir. I think the most optimistic view has come from Kerala that jewelry business may start from May. Let's hope for the best. So on this optimistic, positive note, I thank all our speakers, Jignesh Bhai, Richard ji, Swarvo ji, my friend Pratap, Manoja, Chetan Bhai, Sati, and of course, my colleague Kranti for hosting this wonderful meeting. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kranti ji. Thank you, Sumesh ji.
Thank you.
Just a small announcement. We did a interesting session on the gold buyback. We'll come up with a second session on Saturday morning. So stay tuned for that session. I'll send you the details very soon. Maybe by this evening you'll get that. So.
Okay.
Thank you, Kranti ji.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to
ji.
everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard ji. Thank you, Sumesh bhai, Pratap sir, Sati ma'am, Sumesh bhai, Kranti, Jinesh bhai. Thank you so much. It's all pleasure talking to you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.